5'10".
She's 5'10" now.
He's 5'10".
I think he's probably 5'8".
Uh-huh.
5'8".
He's 12? How old is he?
13. Be 14 in March.
Okay. Yeah, I couldn't
He's
remember.
out of here. He's out of here. He's gone.
You're terrible.
But listen, before we jump into it, we live. Welcome. Another week of What's in Your Glass. Today we have we always got a special guest on here, but today is a very special guest. I'm gonna just read off a little bit about her. This is just a little bit. I want to make sure I get this right.
All right, bet.
We know you're an NBA, a WNBA legend, Olympic gold medalist, Turner Sports commentator, co-owner of Angel City Football Club, which we will get into. My partner, change maker with the Social Change Fund, a mother, and an all-around one of the most influential athletes of our generation. Not women's basketball player, but athletes of our generation. Candace Parker, welcome to
Thank you.
Glass.
Cheers.
We do a virtual cheers. We do a virtual cheers.
Cheers.
But I'm Candace, talk to me. What's going on? I'm gonna get to the questions in a minute, but I want you to, let's jump right into it. What you've been up to? What's going on? What's happening in your world? We'll get into all of that stuff. But first and foremost, for me, I just want to say congratulations to you, like on another amazing, spectacular season. This year 13 that you just finished.
Yeah, it's year 13, man. We're
you getting up there. Don't worry, you getting up there.
Hey, it's like fine wine, right?
You get better with age.
No, honestly, everything has been good. Just, ever since I got back from the wubble, it's been just a balance. There's so many things I want to do. And obviously I voted today. So that was number one. Just worrying about that tomorrow and just trying to do everything we can. I'm really excited to join you guys with the Social Change Fund because, I'm excited to unite with athletes. I think a lot of people do things separately. But when D-Wade called me, I was like, this is going to be great for all of us to do this together.
Absolutely. What again, let's start with the basketball, get that shit out the way first. What you were named the defensive player of the year and a member of the all WNBA first team in year 13. First of all, major shout out to you about those accomplishments. It's hard to do that, and it's hard in year 13 to continue to be on that path and go down that journey of still being at the top of the game. But kind of jumping right into it, like your experience this year was a lot different than it was in previous years due to circumstances, due to kind of just society and our world. How did it feel for you being in that environment, dealing with everything else that we're dealing with?
That I was skeptical going into the wubble. I didn't know exactly what it was going to be. I knew from a personal standpoint, it was probably going to be better for me. Just my body, like not having to travel, not having to commute in the car. I knew it was going to be better for me physically, but just mentally with everything going on in the world, making sure my family is good. And then just from a straight up basketball perspective, you have tunnel vision, like there's nothing else to do in there. So it was about recovery. It was about getting up shots. It was about practice, film, breakdown, basketball, and then repeat it all over again. So I think from that, it was great for me. And then just from like a historical point of view, what we did this summer has never been done in terms of entire leagues coming together and deciding that we weren't going to stand for what was going on and we were going to demand change. And so to be a part of that and to really like be in that, like the day that Milwaukee decided not to play and the next 2 days the WNBA didn't play, to go into a gym and have all 144 players stand in solidarity and to be, obviously alongside our brothers with the NBA, and you look at MLB, you look at, some of the practices with NFL, you look at, it's just across the board in sports. That was something we're going to talk to our grandkids about.
Absolutely. It was definitely a moment. And also, I mean, we both had kind of social justice, things, just things that was going on, and as the backdrop for us, like we had it, you guys had it, all sports had it, and being able to go out there and just kind of lock in, like you said, tunnel vision, it made it easier for me. You know what I'm saying? Travel, you ain't getting in at 2-3 in the morning. It's back to backs. Like a lot of that stuff comes into play. It's a lot. So when you able to just play, go back to the hotel, eat, rest, wake up in the morning, practice, do the same thing, have the same routine. You're not going to different arenas and traveling in different hotels and things like that. For me personally, that made it so much easier for me to go out there and just play basketball. And I'm sure you dealt with the same thing.
Definitely dealt with the same thing. And I think, come playoff time, especially, like we saw how important it was, where you didn't have to get on a plane after a game and go anywhere. And then just, I don't know, just from a standpoint of just being in tune, I feel like I was more in tune with basketball in the bubble because there was nothing else to do. So you knew who was playing what, you knew who scored what. You would see them on the lunch line. You would see the refs. See, what blew my mind was like the refs at the pool, like just out cooking out at the pool, just hanging out like normal people. Like for me to see refs as normal people, that was eye-opening. And I know you felt the same way, the way you are with refs. So
I did. I try to stay away from the refs. I try, but I also try to see them as people. You know what I'm saying? Because again, they're dealing with the same thing that we're dealing with. They humans. They got families. They dealing with some of the same issues. It's just when they put them, they put the stripes on. It's different. It's a lot different. What did you learn from this experience, like your experience in the actual bubble for the season, that's in terms of just the platform that you guys had, the platform that you guys were able to just speak out and just feel free and feel comfortable about speaking out on different issues, knowing that you had the support of us as well. Like what was that experience like?
I'm going to touch on what you just said about having y'all support, because I don't know if you remember back, and this is 2015, 2016, when the Minnesota Lynx wore black T-shirts inside out. And
Absolutely.
the WNBA fined the players. And because of you and because of Chris Paul and because of LeBron James coming out and basically saying, this is intolerant, like we're going to pay the fines, but this is ridiculous.
Right.
I think it set in motion what the WNBA has always been about. And that's about being in the community. And that's about, like, I say this all the time, we are 80% African-American women. We're part of the LGBTQ community, socioeconomic backgrounds, religion, all that. So if we don't speak up, we're the majority of the minority in this country. So if we don't speak up, and then having you guys there to back us up, I mean, there's so many times where I'm on calls with Chris Paul, and, he hosted a call and is always in for the WNBA and keeping us in the loop with what's going on in the NBA. So without you guys, being there and having our back and supporting us, I honestly don't know what this season would have been like and what our social justice campaign would be like, because you do need allies, as we found out this year.
Well, you guys, we did what we did, but also, I mean, you may notice or not, but within our own meetings, one of the topic of discussions was, how do we take care of the WNBA? Like, how do we support the WNBA? How do we let them know that their voices are heard and we stand in solidarity right with them? Like we going to war with them. That was very them messages were very poignant in our meetings. They was very, people strong about it. People had opinions about it. But the joy for us, I know for me, being able to go and play a game, knowing what's the backdrop that we playing against with these social injustices, and then watching y'all play. No, y'all was right down the block from us, but just watching y'all play, it was fulfilling for us to watch that and see the excitement that y'all was playing with, but also the mark that y'all left. You know what I'm saying? Like the mark that the WNBA players and just the league as a whole, what y'all left will be game changing for here on out. And I also know how important it is for women's basketball to be. Like we have to support that. From a young age, we have to support women's basketball. So that was also a major conversation that we was having. And it was just weird. I mean, we was here, y'all was there. We watch y'all play, y'all watch us play, and it's like, damn, is it true what we hearing about over there at the women's bubble? Or
They
and
got
I'm sure it was vice versa for y'all too. Like, damn, I wonder what the hell going on over there. Like, what was that like? For me, it was like a ABCD camp. It was like 5-star camp. Like it was like that for me. Did you have that same type of feeling?
It legit was like Nike All-American, ABCD, like that's what it was like. Right. Like AAU, Boo Williams, whatever you want to call it, where you literally walk into the gym and a team is playing, you watch the rest of their game, and then you go warm up, and then you're gonna play on the. I don't know. It took some getting used to, but I will say this: like in our bubble, it was really cool to be able to still watch you guys. Like I was still commentating for Turner during the regular season of your season, and most of the time when the NBA season is going on, it's only going on for maybe a month of our season. But to watch the way you guys played and then be able to go and play the next day and like, I don't know. It was special. I really enjoyed watching you guys play. You know how I feel about Portland.
Absolutely.
I told you, I remember we were at a wine dinner with Fabrice.
The night before I went.
The night before. And then the next day got news that you were going to Portland. And I'm a huge fan of Dame. He's definitely, a good friend of mine. And so to watch you guys play that way, and I'll tell you, I said you hit that shot. I said, because you were mad the game before you didn't hit that 3. And I was like, oh, he's not missing. Yep.
I wasn't missing the other one. I couldn't go back home. I couldn't go back home after that one.
But it's cool to like watch the best players in the world and then go the next day and, add that to your game. And so honestly, it really, I think, helped us in the WNBA to be able to have you guys, even though we couldn't see you down the street, but to still get that energy from basketball.
Staying on basketball, where would you want to see the WNBA in the next 5 to 10, like next 5 years? Where would you want to see the WNBA?
Well, I said when I came into the league, I said, I definitely wanted to leave the game better than, I came into it with. And for me, going overseas is kind of one of those things. Like, I think our brand of basketball, our game would be so much better if players only played in the WNBA. And for that to happen, I mean, the way I fed my daughter and pay my bills is overseas. I mean, I went overseas for 10 years. And so in the next 5 to 10 years, I would like to see where women don't have to go overseas and leave their families. Like we could find a happy medium of, wanting players to stay here and to play in the States, because we're the best basketball in the world. I mean, I don't even know how many straight gold medals we won, and just we could field 5-6 teams for the Olympics. So we're the best brand of basketball. And so it's like frustrating that you have to go overseas to make a great living.
And the average person or the average listener that's watching this or listening to this, or just in general, right? The average fan don't really understand that part of it, like playing overseas and coming back. They don't understand what goes into that. And a lot of times basketball players don't understand that. Like, why are they going overseas? Why are they playing over? But then again, like the WNBA is almost like summer. It's the summer league.
It's a summer job. Just say it.
You know what I'm saying? It's like it's a summer job. It's a summer league. So it's like we should empower all of our women and female basketball players to want to stay here. And we should want to do what we have to do to support that by any means necessary, because we have so much talent. I'm on the AAU circuit. I see these young girls out there that's hooping and playing, and it's different. We came up together, so I've seen you see me at a young age. Today is different. Like these young girls is different today. They train it differently than we trained and you trained coming up.
Mello, it's opportunity. Like if you think
about resources, of course,
it's opportunity. That's what it is. And I mean, the way we came up, you and Bron, y'all's generation were the first generation we could follow from high school.
Right.
Actively follow through social media, through news following, through everything, watching you guys grow up. This generation is the first generation for women's basketball that people are really going to be able to follow interest, with stories. And so, I mean, you look on now and it'll be a top high school, top college player that has a bajillion followers. And I mean, that's, people want to fall in love with stories. They want to get to know you. And so I think just with the opportunity, like women's basketball is going to keep growing.
So to stay on that for a little bit, because something monumental just happened. The WNBA and 2K has partnered up. Like, to have you guys on 2K is I don't even play 2K. I'm gonna be honest. I don't even play 2K.
Oh, come on now.
And listen, but when I play with WNBA. My son will tell you straight up, my dad will only play with a WNBA team. I just don't know. I can't play with nobody else. I just can't.
That's the same. Listen, Layla, my daughter, takes LA. And I'm like, so who am I supposed to play against? Because I definitely am not picking Minnesota, Seattle. I'm not picking any of these. Like, I'm not playing with them.
So I play with the WNBA team. But I'm saying this to say that I asked you the question, previously about where you see it going. Yeah. But right now, it's already taken that step. I mean, for the WNBA and 2K to partner up and bring women's basketball to a video game platform, you guys must feel like, damn, like we really breaking barriers now. Is that like conscious around, within all of WNBA players?
I think so. I think when the 2K partnership first started, we understood with the scans and then just the additions to the game. 2K is one of my partners. And so when we first started talking about it, it was, how can we make the WNBA game authentic on video games? Like, do we have them be able to play against, like, how do we line this up? And so to be able to sit down and really talk the game with them and to be able to say, like, these are the sets that WNBA teams run and this is the way that usually you move. And then to go to the bay and to do the scan and to get the whole black, outfit on with all the scanners on and play basketball. And then to see the detail they put into it. Like, they have my baby hairs laid on 2K. Like, that was the first thing I was like, okay, let me make sure that y'all got it right. I was like, okay, you got to get the tattoos and you got to get the baby hair. And they did both of that. So I was excited about it. No, but it's great. It's groundbreaking. And I think it's just about, honestly, like, there's a lot of room at the table. It's just about moving over. And I think some guys are hesitant to allow women to have this. And to me, you don't have to play the game. Like, don't click on the feature. But to say that we shouldn't be on the video game, I think is ridiculous.
I agree with that. I'm playing with a WNBA team. I don't care what nobody say. Ain't nobody gonna tell me that. I'm just be straight. I haven't heard that part yet. So I'm playing with the WNBA team. That's what I'm gonna play with. I can't play with no other players. It's weird. It's awkward.
What was gonna happen, because the way it as competitive as you are, like,
I'd rather just go play on the blacktop. Like, I'd rather go outside and play 1v1. Switching it up a little bit. We've obviously you came on board with us to do the social change fund. So congratulations, with that, and just coming on and just giving us another voice, another extension, another women's voice on that platform. What made you want to team up with the social change fund? Like, what was it?
Well, first of all, like, me, you, D-Wade, CP, we go back to, I think it was 2008 at the Olympics.
Absolutely.
And just the amount of impact that all of you all have had within the society, within the communities, has been amazing to watch, because we've grown up together, and just to see the type of people that we're growing up to be. And to me, I want to be a part of that. I think it's easy for athletes to kind of do their own thing and to have their own lane. But honestly, like, we keep saying we're better together, but we are. And I learned so much sitting in the meetings and listening to you guys. And obviously it's in between jokes as well. But to be able to do that, have fun in the process, and to do it with people that you've known forever, it was a no-brainer for sure.
No, we definitely we welcome you with open arms for sure. What out of all of the initiatives though that we have now running, do you have anything that's like especially close to home for you, or anything that's bringing like excitement to you? Like, damn, I can't wait to do this, or I can't wait to tackle this issue. Like, is it something that sticks out, that stands out?
Well, there's two things, Mello. One is I know CJ McCollum is huge with education reform. And
Yep.
honestly, just sitting here and seeing the effects that COVID has had on our communities, and especially the communities that are underserved. If you think about how much we take for granted, we have Wi-Fi, we have laptops. I set Layla up with a laptop. She's got her iPad to the side. She's doing both. Like, there's so many communities that, and so many people that don't have that. Like Wi-Fi, we take for granted. And so I think it's just within, especially the LAUSD school system, just a lot of kids, that's their meals. Like that's what they, that's what they depend on. And so I think definitely just listening to CJ and what he's talking about with, educational reform is huge. And then also just supporting Black businesses. Today we released with the Social Change Fund with Support Black Colleges, a code to allow people to get to the polls and vote and to use Lyft. And to me, that's huge because it is giving people access. And that's so important. We're in a democracy. We should want more people to vote. It should never be
Right.
where we're trying to prevent that from happening. So I think those two things are what I'm most passionate about.
And we do the, the S, I want to get the initials right. The SCF, the Social Change Fund. We do a lot. We do a lot in voting, in civic engagement, and it's no secret that we have tomorrow approaching us in a couple hours. How do you feel about going into tomorrow?
I'm one of those people that kind of like, obviously I understand the importance, but I believe that, good will come. And so I think just going into tomorrow, hoping that everybody votes, I think that's my major thing. If everybody votes, and I'm going to be okay with the outcome, I feel like. I think it's just when you kind of leave votes on the table is when I don't know if I would feel like we did enough. And, going into this election, I think everybody did as much as they possibly could. But if there's still votes on the table, then you could have done more.
It's not over yet.
Nah, it isn't. How are you feeling going into this?
I'm honestly trying to be optimistic about it, to be honest. I don't want to say scared, but I'm like fearful of whichever way it goes, something is gonna happen. You understand? Like something is going down. Like we gotta embrace that. We gotta be prepared for that, and we gotta also understand that it's not gonna be over tomorrow. Like we got a couple more months. We got a long time to really dig down and figure this out. I mean, a lot of people don't understand that. I mean, there's another election going on. You got the House. They fighting for the House, and it's those are the important votes. You understand? Like that Senate is very important, and a lot of people don't really understand that. That's where we should be voting for. Like that's who we got to tackle. Those are the issues those are the people that's going to make the change. I mean, the presidency is going to do what they do, but those people in the House is really the ones that's going to make change. So we got to be there. We got to show out. We got to understand that. We got to educate ourselves on how important that is. But tomorrow it's going to be tough either way. It's going to be tough either way, and that's just how I feel about the whole situation.
Well, all I know is as an African American woman, to see an African American woman on a ticket. I remember back in 2008, I had my daughter in 2009, and I remember watching them call the election when Obama won, and me being so excited because the only president my daughter would know when she was younger was going to be a Black president. And then, fast forward to 2016, and my assumption was Hillary was going to win. And I said, so my daughter was born into a generation that had a Black president and a woman president, and that's all she'll ever know. and look at the progress. And then, you know, obviously things didn't work out that way, but to be back in a situation where as an African-American woman, my daughter knows that she is vice president. She's running for vice president. And, you know, to me, that's special because I think our kids and our youth need to see different people in different leadership positions to be okay with being led by certain people. Like in order to break down all those barriers, like we have to see different people in different roles. And y'all's generation, I mean, think about the way you guys approach business even. Like they didn't think of basketball players as businessmen. I mean, Magic, yes. But in terms of just like, y'all are a business and you guys have made it that way. And so it's like, now it opens the doors for Ja Morant to be a businessman, like for all these young guys in the NBA to do that and following your footsteps. And I think it's the same thing with women. Like we need that.
So what are you, that's good you said that, because I was just having this conversation with somebody about like my situation. Like I've seen 9/11, I've seen, you know, the first Black president, right? I'll see where we at right now, and I see the opportunity to have, you know, another female in the future, maybe in the future, another female president, the first female president, Black female president. Mm-hmm. So it's like for your daughter, is that conversation like that she's having with you, not you having with her, that she's having with you? Is it like excited about the opportunity? Like, oh, mom, I can be a president now. You know what I'm saying? Whereas before, being a president was like out of this world. You know what I'm saying? Do she really feel like she can be the next, like she could be a president? Because she should be feeling like that.
But you know why I have so much hope for this generation is because I don't think she thought she couldn't. Like, that's the thing is I think this generation is seeing women and seeing African-American people and people of color and different types of people in different positions. And to me, that's so important. Right. There are so many times where I catch myself telling her that she can, and she's like, yeah, I know. Like, like, why couldn't I? You're saying I couldn't because I'm a woman? And I'm like, all right. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying some people might feel that way. But now it's like she's growing up with women as superheroes. I mean, her mom has a superhero shoe. She had to shut this boy up in class because he said women couldn't be superheroes. And then she wore my shoes the next day. And that was a whole thing. So she has her way of understanding that she can do and be whatever she wants to be.
Tell her I said every superhero don't wear a cape. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I like that.
Tell her I said, tell her to tell her the little kid that. With like speaking of just having a conversation with your daughter and just thoughts in the future, like you guys had like recently kind of just use your platform to y'all celebrated the 48th anniversary of Title IX, like the passage of Title IX, whereas a lot of people may not understand what is Title IX. So do you? I just want to hear it from you, and other people may want to hear it from you as far as you explaining what Title IX is, so they can have a better understanding of why you guys celebrated the 48th anniversary of that.
Well, it was enacted in 1972. President Nixon, wrote it in. And I think I find myself in a unique position, Mello, because my mom went to school from 72 to 76. So Title IX didn't impact her at all. Then there's me who was able to receive benefits from Title IX. And what that means that a federally funded institution cannot discriminate you based off sex, race, religion, all that. But that's not just with sports. A lot of people think it's just sports. It's not. Any federally funded institution has to abide by Title IX. So when I was younger, the boys finished their uniforms and they passed them down to us. And that was just how it was. It was like, oh, like, okay, boys are better and they just pass it to us. And so it became like that was the way the system is. Like you can have boys basketball at a school and girls basketball doesn't exist. But because of Title IX, it has held these federally funded institutions, liable, and it has held them to a certain standard. And so, I'm just trying to make sure that people understand how important it is and how many opportunities it creates. I mean, you think about with CEOs, how many CEOs total, not just women, men as well, have played a team sport because the boardroom is operated as a team sport. That's the way it is.
Absolutely.
So there's so many women that have played team sports sitting at the table now, and because of that. And it's not just because team sports, it's because of the lessons you learn. It's because of the challenges. It's the day-to-day. I mean, it really is a metaphor for what you're going to do the rest of your life. And with that, I think we're going to see even more in the next generation that are able to sit at the table and, because of Title IX.
Right. And because of Title IX, and I think it's starting to be taken advantage a little bit more, and utilized a little bit more, because people starting to understand it. As you can see, women's sports and just women in business, or regardless in the boardroom, regardless, it's growing. It's starting to grow. You guys are starting to have your voice. You have a place in our society. You guys are equal with us. You guys are rubbing elbows with us. I'm in a boardroom meeting. You sitting right there next to me, which is for a long time that never been the case.
Never.
So for me to walk into a room now and see you sitting right there next to me, it's like, oh damn, okay, shit. Like we are making progress. You know what I'm saying? Like we are making progress. So with that being said, do you think your role changes with the mentorship that you have with the younger, female basketball players, younger female athletes?
I hope that our generation are opening up doors for the next. Like, we're not closing it. We're not like, we're going to open this thing wide open for the next generation. Because honestly, I'm tired of looking at my nieces and looking at my daughter and telling them that they can do the same job that a man does and make way less. The same job. I'm not talking about, because we get into this whole WNBA, NBA. Y'all should make 100 times. It's a business. I understand that. I'm talking about the same job, the same hours, the same requirement from school, and you're still making less. And that's a problem. And so, obviously there's progress, and I think there's definitely 2 steps forward, 100%. But until we're able to say the same things to both of our kids, we still got a long way to go. And I'm going to do my part. I tell my agent this all the time. I'm like, I want to be the first team sport businesswoman. Like, that's what I want to do. I want to be like the Magic Johnson of, women's basketball or women's sports. Cause we learn versatility. Like, you play inside out. Like, I want to do the same thing off the court.
Now, have you've grown to be that way and think that way, or part of your childhood has made you think about this type of way?
I have amazing role models, heroes. My 2 older brothers, like my oldest brother, Anthony, played years in the NBA, played 10 years. Actually, I have a couple photos of him trying to guard you. I give him a hard time.
I remember him. I remember, bro.
Every time he guarded Wade, it was always hilarious because we would always check in with each other at Sports Center, and I would see his crooked hand contesting D Wade, so I give him a hard time. But anyway, he kind of set the stage. I mean, he's transitioned into front office with Orlando Magic right now. And my middle brother, he's a doctor in Tampa. So it's just been that education is so important and doing more than just playing basketball.
Let's jump to another sport, and I'll let you talk about it. You're co-owner of a of a soccer team.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited.
Let's talk about it. I mean, and I was able to have that experience to get my feet wet with ownership down there in Puerto Rico, having my own soccer team and soccer club down there on the island. So I know what it's like being in that, and wearing a different pair of shoes and a different hat. For you, let's talk about, tell the people about what is your new endeavor. How do you get involved in it? Why did you want to get involved with it? And exactly what is it?
So it's a women's soccer team, and we're excited to bring a women's soccer team to LA. I think that's the biggest thing, is Los Angeles deserves it. The way the fans support, even the men's soccer team, just to watch the amount of support and around the league is so important. Just even in Seattle, I give as an example, Seattle women's soccer is huge. And I always say that people need to support women's sports, and I need to put my money where my mouth was, because I can't tell other people to do it if I'm not doing it. And so It was important for me. I always hear this word, generational wealth. Generational wealth. Well, like, what about generational knowledge as well? And so I wanted my daughter to go on this, their pinky up. But other than that, like, it honestly has been a great experience. It's the inaugural season will be in 2022. So we still have some time and we're pretty, far out. Some announcements will be coming soon, but to just be a part of that and to be a part of growing women's sports. And the biggest thing for me was it wasn't just about soccer. Like, the number one reason why 11 and 12-year-old girls drop out of sports is because they don't have sports bras. Like,
Absolutely.
that just blows my mind. That's something that simple. So it's like figuring out why young girls are dropping out at 10, 11, 12 years old and trying to do, make the community better. And I think that that's their mission and their purpose. And I'm right along for it.
Well, congratulations with that. I'm sure you and your team excited about kind of getting that open, getting that going, getting that open in 22.
You got to come to the game. I'm gonna send you a jersey.
Listen, please do. I'm a soccer fan. I'm a big time soccer fan. So right. I'm there. I'm not coming until I get my jersey. First of all.
All right, I got you.
Say less. I'll be there. Let's because we about to wrap it up. Let's get into some rapid fire questions about wine.
All right, cool.
I know you love your wine. Red or white?
Yeah, I love my tequila.
And tequila. Okay.
I'm red all day. I'm Cab, Napa Valley. Sorry, that wasn't rapid fire, but
no, but that was the next question. That was gonna be the next question.
Okay.
So your region is you're Napa region. You love Cali cabs.
Although Fabrice has recently gotten me into some French wines. I'm not gonna lie. Like Bordeaux, like he brought some Bordeaux over to the house a couple months back, and then I actually had a shipment sent to the Wubble from France. So he's kind of secretly like making me like French wine as well.
Well, he's getting it from the actual source. You know what I'm saying? So he's there in Bordeaux getting Bordeaux's. It's like, you know what I'm saying? You're in Napa getting Napa cabs. It's the same. It's very similar. And Fabrice likes to show off with his Bordeaux. So I'm a big Bordeaux guy. Bordeaux guy. I love Bordeaux. Burgundy is my go-to. Mm-hmm. But if I want an everyday wine, I'm gonna drink Pinot Noir.
Pinot.
So that's my trio. Do you like? Are you a champagne person?
So I wasn't, and then I started working with Isaiah Thomas I started working with him in studio NBA TV, and Sherlon is a no sugar champagne. And so when he first brought it to set, I was like no sugar. Like, this doesn't make any sense. We tasted. I think it was like me, Isaiah Thomas, Chris Webber, and Kevin McHale, and we were all lit on New Year's Eve. Like, drinking
all for no sugar.
Yeah, it sneaks up on you. So Sherlon is probably my favorite. Shout
out to Zeke too, man. Big shout out to him, man. Is for him doing what he's doing and tapping into the the wine game and the champagne game. I love to see that. I love to see people of color getting into a traditional lane such as the wine lane. So, and he's just breaking barriers. Let me see. I have one more for you. You had a 5-star restaurant, right? Best chef, best food. Environment is crazy. What wine you picking?
Okay, so I am a Colgan Staglin.
Colgan is that's 100-pointer.
Yeah, Colgan is very good. But see, here's the problem I have, because I have friends that have a lot of Colgan money. Okay. So when I went to the first wine dinner, we ordered Colgan, and then the next time I went back, and I was like, it was just me, and so I ordered, and I was like, whoa, okay. So I gotta work real hard to get because I can't order Colgan by the glass. So Yeah, so I learned that real quick that I got to keep working hard so that I can keep up with the wine bill, because once you start, you can't. I mean, Colgan, Staglin, honestly, Mascot is is 97 point. This is kind of like one of my
favorites. Very good.
It's very good, and this is something that can like age. You know, I like the wines that you can sit. You don't have to drink for a couple years, and it'll sit in there and age well. But yeah, I have a Staglin 2009, because that's the year my daughter was born. So I'm waiting to drink that maybe with her on her 18th or 21st birthday.
Oh yeah, that'll be soon too, and that'll be just about the right time to drink that Staglin, that 09.
For sure.
You're in the house, just chilling. You want to pop open a bottle. What you going to?
Wine or tequila? Because you know I'm a tequila person as well.
Either anything, either one. What's your go-to if you're just in the house hanging out chilling?
In the house, my go-to is probably Clase Azul. That's like my football Sunday, football Monday.
Añejo, Ultra Añejo, or what?
I like Ultra Añejo or Reposado. Those are my two.
Got it.
I actually collect their bottles too. So I collect like all the Clase Azul bottles. So I have like the Dias de los Muertos bottle. I have like the the Mesa bottle. Like I collect all their bottles and display.
So we know what gift to get you there now.
There we go. But no, if you haven't tried the Compoveda tequila, it's really good.
No, I have to try that one.
I got a gift for you. It's really good.
I have to try that one. What I usually do as we wrapping it up, man, I usually have the guests just talk to the people, talk to the viewers, talk to the country, talk to the world, man, and just give them some words of encouragement. You have the floor now. Just give them a couple words, and you got it.
Melo, I think the biggest thing that in 2020, which has been a really tough year, that I've understood and grown to appreciate has been, just obviously family and love and working as hard as you can. But then also just, it's not your equality or my equality, like it's our equality. And so when you're fighting for something, but you won't listen to the person to the left of you or to the right of you, like, are you really fighting for something? And so I think it's so important for us to understand how we need each other. And it has shown just in the sense of like with you guys in the NBA supporting us, your voice saying something about women's sports or women needing to be in leadership positions or being in the boardroom carries way more weight than when I say it. And it's the same thing that we're asking of our white allies of saying about how Black Lives Matter and, diversity and inclusion, things like that. And so I think the biggest thing in 2020 is like, it's nobody's ownership of equality. And I think in America, we got to get back to that foundation of like, democracy is not a place,
Not at all.
We got to continue to work towards, whatever it is, but we can't stop working. But I appreciate you having me on, man. Like, this has been awesome. I enjoy watching these. And I will continue to drink wine. Hopefully I'll see you like at Wally's or somewhere.
You can always find me at Wally's all day long.
Stay at Wally's with that cheese, that brie cheese. What?
You can always find me at Wally's. They know that.
Yes.
Nah, but sis, I appreciate you, man. Just jumping on here and tapping in with me, tapping in with the fans, and giving us a different perspective. You know what I'm saying? Giving us a strong Black female perspective. Somebody who's at the top of their game. Somebody who's raising, young queens. Somebody who live with morals and standards and so on and so forth. But then at the end of the day, man, you Candace fucking Parker, man. You one of the greatest to ever touch the hardwood. So I will always appreciate you. Always been a fan. Always will be. And it's nothing but love. You know that.
All right. Well, before we end this, I need an agreement that you're gonna teach me that jab, though. I've been asking for a while for you to teach me that mellow jab step.
I got you. We got to get in the gym. We get better with age, like wine, like you said. So
there it is.
You got to. We got to play smarter. We can't play faster. We got to play smarter. We know that.
That's the biggest thing. You got to learn to play smart. It's
Absolutely.
Yes, it definitely is that. So thank you so much.
Of course, sis. I appreciate you. Cheers. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.